DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, I hope you're well. It is Tuesday morning. I don't usually make a video on Tuesday morning, but it's going to be a tag video. Normally, I make my tag videos sometimes Monday afternoon or in the evening, but yesterday I was waiting to see if there would be a Jasmine tag, and there wasn't, so it was too late actually. And as you might notice, I'm not feeling completely great. I guess I'm catching up on what Mrs. DC had. Not as bad as what she had, but still I am coughing a bit. Anyway, so let's see. This is Dave's last Saturday 7-question tag. So let's see what I can make out of this. Question 1. Let me see. I got it here. As a kid, what was your favorite board game? Well, you know something? I think it's going to be the same for everybody of my generation, and probably the people that lived around Canada or something, or in the States. It was Snakes and Ladders. We used to play that as kids a lot. There was other board games that we did have that were not at all a standard, and I don't remember their names anymore. And we used to play those, things that my parents had probably bought in a store. I was almost going to say one of these no-name stores or whatever in the village or something, and I can't quite remember. But we would have that. We would have, well, Snakes and Ladders was my favorite, but we also had like Chinese checkers, Parcheesi, stuff like that. Yeah, but that's Snakes and Ladders. I didn't really like Monopoly. We used to play it, but it would take forever. We'd never finish a game. Question 2. What is the one thing that didn't change in you from your childhood to your adulthood? My smile. My smile, my laugh, I guess. Overall, probably my humor. Albeit that would be another story. I think that I learned to smile and to try and be funny and witty. But at least the smile. Yeah, I'd say the smile. Yeah. Question 3. Do you make bucket lists? Not really anymore, although I have, in a way, I guess I kind of did. When I was a kid, I did have a kind of a bucket list. There wasn't many things on it, but I did want to see, I did want to go to Yellowstone Park, and I did want to see the Grand Canyon. Those are 2 things I really wanted to see in my life. So I've been to Yellowstone. I've flown over the Grand Canyon. Yeah, so I can say that those were there. Now I live in Europe, having been brought up in Canada. So I don't know. Was that on my bucket list? It is amusing because when I was in university, I used to say, I used to say to people, if I can't find a job or something, I will emigrate to Switzerland and become a chemist over there. And finally, that's what I did. Prophecy. I didn't expect that I was being excuse me, I was kind of being bravado, but no. Okay, that's question 3. Question 4. Suppose you have got a time machine that you can use only once. Would you choose to go into the past or visit the future? Well, I've often said I'd like to visit the past, and it would be like in the 50s. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind going into the future and see what my grandkids, in the future when I would be gone, to see how my grandkids are getting along and things like that. I wouldn't mind seeing that, because those are things that, one might say you're going to see them from above, which is true. But then again, if you're, above, as we'll call it, you can see things probably. There's no time, so yeah. Okay, so a bit of both, but I guess I wouldn't mind seeing. How my grandkids get along. Yeah. Question 5. How would your dream house look? It wouldn't be very different to where we are now. I'd probably add a couple rooms, so guest rooms or something, and have a bigger office, something like that. So like where I could have like a studio photo or something like that. A photo studio, and something like that, I guess. Yeah. I just mean finishing my Spanish, and often the words are inverted. I don't know if that's it, but anyway. So that was question 5. Yeah, so I mean, frankly, I'm pretty happy where I'm living now. Actually, that's kind of pretty much, like I say, I'd probably add an extension to it. Yeah, maybe. Question 6. What is the one song that reminds you of good things in your life? Gee, that's a hard one. First off, I never remember titles of songs. And I think it's Silent Night, the Christmas song. Is that Franz Gruber? But Silent Night reminds me of the good things of life because it reminds me when we were kids, we would sing around the piano as my mom would be playing it. Reminds me of when we would have times Christmas time at church. Reminds me of shows that I've seen. It might be the Waltons. It might be other shows. It kind of like reminds me of the goodness of God in a way. Yeah, Silent Night. Yeah. And question 7 and last. What smell makes you nostalgic? There's a couple. Excuse me, I should be doing that actually. There's a couple. One would be I've talked about it before, Old Spice. Old Spice, the aftershave or lotion. My granddad used to have that, and the smell of when we were kids, we would go to Lake Menfor-Magog, which is between the Canadian and American border, so Quebec and Vermont. And the smell of the side of the water, like kind of like that algae water-like smell, brings to me when I was a kid, and we would go fishing, trolling with my so my brother and I would go fishing and trolling with my grandfather's cousin Hibbert, and we would stay in their little cottage, and that smell of like when we would get up and go to the lake, and those of you who've been around lakes, it's kind of a very typical smell. I guess it's a mixture of algae and rotten stuff, or I don't know exactly how to describe it, but yeah, that would be the one. Okay, that's it. So it'll be DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and I hope you have a good week. Bye-bye. Oh, and thank you, Dave, for the tag. And I was also going to say, if you're ever watching, and I hope you're well. Okay.